Dakota.
I thought maybe it was her sister.
Her sister Dakota.
Jenny could be protecting a significant other.
I don't see her getting close to anybody else besides maybe Dakota.
I think Virginia's looking out for herself.
Ginny is protecting Ginny.
Virginia.
Virginia is protecting herself.
Virginia is protecting everyone.
Virginia is not protecting anybody.
From Dakota.
Don't see Dakota killing a fully grown man by slitting his throat and shoving him towards walkers.
Something about that relationship just feels very off to me.
Because there's something amiss on Dakota.
I feel like every time Dakota and Virginia are around each other, Virginia gets really antsy and anxious.
Dakota is a little psycho.
Virginia controls all the evidence. She controls the locker. She controls the sign-out sheet. She controls everything.
Virginia can't control Dakota.
Or somebody she uses for her dirty work.
Virginia found out Dakota was the lady who saved Morgan with the help of Cameron. So once Virginia learns this information, she orders Cameron's death.
Maybe she's protecting Victor Strand.
The ranger that I believe we figured out is Hill.
Maybe it was Victor Strand that did the killing.
I think either him or Dakota.
So she had to hurry up and find a scapegoat.
I think she's trying to cover up something that she did or is going to do.
There's no one else that she could be protecting.
And she framed Janice.
Janice is always going to die.
Wow. I mean, that's obvious.
Now, for those of you that are big June and John fans, you might not like this answer.
I definitely think Virginia has some not so great plans for John and June.
I think Virginia is going to use June as leverage against John to keep him in line.
Is it a distraction?
To show John that she's serious this time.
Because she knows John is getting too close.
There will be consequences for him acting out again.
John was going forward with this investigation.
He is on her trail. He knows she's up to something.
He kind of told him to keep quiet, and John basically ignored her.
I think June will be in danger.
Nothing stops John from trying to get at the truth.
When John starts trying to rid the town of all the decay.
She may use June, she possibly hurt her or at least threaten to harm her to get John to do something that she wants.
And to control John's behavior.
She is making sure that she can control him.
I think Ginny reunited John and June as a reward for playing along.
That he finally sees what's what.
A reward for John towing the line.
To make sure he is kept in line.
And also as a threat that she could take it away just as easily as she gave it to him.
And as a warning to keep him in line.
She obviously knows that they were communicating through the letters in the laundry.
It's just another reminder of what he can stand to lose now.
She wants to continue the torture, the mental torture that she's putting over John.
With June there with him, he has a reminder exactly what he stands to lose.
If June was there, he would be less likely to do something against her.
She's basically broken his spirit.
To kind of remind John that she can do anything she wants.
And whatever Ginny wants, Ginny gets.
But John needed an anchor, a tether to keep him in place, and June was the only thing that would do that.
We are very happy that John and June have been reunited.
That kind of has me a little nervous for June.
But we're very worried, very worried.
I'm scared for both of them. I'm really, really scared.
Man, it was so tainted, their reunion.
John is always going to remember that, and he will always associate, June coming back with what happened. And this is always going to be in the back of his mind every time he looks at June. Oh.
She ruined it. Oh, what a bitch.
Janice is right. This place destroys everything.
Janice was right. This place destroys everything.
Morgan is talking to Rufus.
My favorite line was when Morgan was talking to the dog.
And he says, "Man, is she even going to recognize me?"
And he said, "Is she even going to recognize me?" He was looking in the mirror, which makes you think he's talking physically, but I think he's talking more, is she going to recognize the person that I've become?
Morgan was just got in an accident, and those guys came up, and Morgan's walking up all kind of cool, has that awesome weapon, and he goes up to him, he's like, hey, was that an accident? Because right now would be a great time to say you're sorry. And I just thought that was funny, it was badass. And
my favorite line might be one of the most heartbreaking, and it was when John sees Janice after she's turned and she's crawling, out of the woods, and he just looks at her and says, oh no, Janice. That was heartbreaking. I don't even know if I can say it was my favorite line, but it was definitely the one that I think impacted me the most.
I don't really have one specific line, but the entire monologue from June to Rabbi Jacob, where he's talking about his father, telling Rabbi Jacob why he has to protect Janice and why he has to fight for the truth. It was just one of my favorite scenes from this whole season so far.
I don't know if I have a single line that was my favorite, but that whole scene with John and the rabbi in his room, man, I cried.
Come and unpack. Let me get cleaned up. I wasn't expecting to see you today. Because he wasn't expecting to see her. I loved it so much.
My favorite line was, he broke the rules to set things right, so that people could feel like they were living in a world where they knew which way was up.
Garrett Dillahunt was absolutely brilliant in this episode. Amazing episode. One of my favorites so far.
Garrett Dillahunt's performance in that scene is one of my favorite performances probably in the whole series.
Garrett Dillahunt is such a good actor. Oh my goodness. He made me feel feels, and he got all teary-eyed, so I got teary-eyed, and it was all so good. So good. And I was really afraid he was about to bite the dust. Oh my god. I'm so glad he hasn't yet, and I hope he doesn't.